I haven't talked about log rolling in years. It was a rush. It was a high. It's like walking on water. But I was rolling on water.
Spring creeps up on the year 1880. The lakes, rivers, and tributaries have begun to thaw, and as the ice breaks up, a legendary sport will arise. The American and Canadian logger companies have waited all winter for the waters to thaw. Their piles of fallen trees have sat on the banks of the rivers and lakes, waiting on spring. The only way to move the trees was to float them down the rivers. Oftentimes, there would be so many logs floated down the river at one time that large jams would appear, bringing the flow of timber to a halt. Skilled men would be hired to unclog these jams, who would have to walk out over the water and roll the logs. The men would compete with one another to see who could stay on top the longest while running on the log.
When they would bring the logs down the river in the annual log drive, you had to learn how to jump log to log, roll them, move them, and they had a little bit of competition, and somehow they brought that to their children, and my dad brought it to me and my brothers and sisters, and we got involved in log rolling.
Competing logging companies began to take interest, and in the early 1900s began holding log rolling competitions. The sport began to grow popular in the northwest parts of America and Canada. Red cedar would replace the old pine logs because cedar spun faster and would float better with two people on it. The sport went national in the mid-1900s. Spiked cleats were used by most professional rollers. They would help the contenders gain traction on the logs and stay out of the water.
If you look at the log rolling world championships, it was kind of split. There was one in Oregon and one in Wisconsin. And the one in Wisconsin was actually featured on Wide World of Sports. I actually beat one of my biggest competitors, Ed Holyoke. I took third place in the World Championship. I remember receiving like $500 prize money. That blew me away. I just enjoyed it for the sport, but I actually made money. That was the last year I really rolled.
As the 80s approached, the lustrous spirit of log rolling began to fade into the wind. The large appeal mostly came from the northwestern states, which shifted their eyes to football. Some log rolling stars, such as Rod Richards and Penny McCall, didn't have long before their dreams and careers drifted away.
I was at the top. No one could beat me. I could roll that log like nobody else could. I was there. I was it.
Well, could you tell us about your rival, Penny McCall?
I haven't heard Penny's name spoken in years. She was incredible. No one could beat her. I thought I was the only one that could, but she was tough.
I understand. Well, Mr. Richards, would you like you to look at this news clipping of Penny?
Nice.
Mr. Richards, are you okay?
No. I'd like to leave.
Mr. Richards, if you can.
I would like to leave. I'm done.
From humble beginnings, unjamming rivers to the national championships, the vigor and passion of those who played is passed on. The spirit of the log will roll down the waters of time and keep rolling into the hearts of a new generation.